Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cheat Codes. I'm Tash with Women in Games International, and today we're talking about an amazing game with an amazing person that is incredibly specific. And because of that specificity, it is groundbreaking. So, we're talking about cozy games, we're talking about cultural storytelling, and why those two things fit perfectly together. My guest today is the co-founder of Kalp Studio and the team building Raahi, a narrative-driving game set in the 1990s Goa-inspired town. It's where you play as an auto rickshaw driver, and every ride is someone else's story. Please welcome Mannat Jain. Mannat, for anyone who's meeting you for the first time, please tell us a bit about you and your path into game development and also what led you to found a studio.
Thank you so much, Tash, for this introduction and having me here. I'm really excited for our conversation. Hi, everyone. I'm Mannat Jain, co founder at Kalp. And a little about what I do at Kalp. I mainly manage the business and operation side of things, and I'm also writing the story for our game Raahi. Um, a bit about myself like earlier in life. I have been into games all my life because I am an only child, and playing games is the only way I knew how to interact with other people, and it gave me a window into someone else's life, which I really liked. So 15 years in, this is all I wanted to do. After I graduated, my friends had already found this studio and were working on Rahi. The concept struck a chord with me and I hopped right in. So, and it's almost been a year. I'm really, really happy to be a part of it.
I love that. You said you were only child and games were how you found connection. What games did you start with? I'm so curious.
Yes, so I started with Quantum of Solace. Uh, and luckily, I got my hands on First Light. So it feels like a full circle moment. Uh, Games made me feel like I had more friends somehow, which is I enjoyed party games always, like Persona and Fire Emblem series.
Oh, that's amazing. I spent a lot of time by myself because my brother is 13 years younger than me. So it was me growing up playing games, but it was all Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis. A lot of Super Bomberman and Donkey Kong
Yeah, like
and
Mario
fighting
Party.
games. Yeah.
Yes. I get it. I totally understand.
So I'm very curious about the spark for Rahi. Was 1990 always the time period, and was it always to be set in Goa, or did that come later?
Okay, so to answer the first part, the spark for Rahi came from the thought of seeing life through someone else's lens who's usually ignored in your everyday life. Your cab driver, and in Rahi's context, auto rickshaw driver, because you usually hop into a cab and they take you to a destination. In today's time, you forget to have a conversation with them and just look at your phone. But your cab driver hears everything, hears all your conversations, knows what is going on, especially a smaller town like Majili. Your cab driver, your auto rickshaw driver, knows what is happening in your life. They know your routes. So we wanted to ask that simple question. Do you know what is happening in their life? Do you know about his dream? So that's where the story came in. And the 90s Goa specifically is because we wanted to capture an analog time when smartphones did not exist at all, where people would actually want to have a conversation with each other, and you're more likely to have a conversation with your cab driver rather than just looking down on your phone. And 90s was a perfect time. Goa, because we feel like Goa is one part of India which is misrepresented and also is very culturally diverse. And we wanted to capture the beauty of diversity and what it brings to the table.
That's that's amazing. I think that gives me a different perspective because I'm the kind of person where it's a better ride for me if no one talks to me. And but at the same time, I'm not acknowledging that that is also a person. And so I think that's such a valid perspective that I'm missing out on as well. You described a philosophy of wanting the players to remember the people they meet rather than just objectives. So what drove you to that? Like, how did that not only how did that blossom, and then how how did that drive the design process?
So yes, by design, we wanted people to remember the passengers that got in and are getting out. And we did that by just not having a timer in any place. So if you are picking up someone and dropping them, you don't have a timer and you're not like losing money if you take more time in the ride. Rahi is about enjoying the journey and enjoying the process of life. And I think in today's time where everything is happening really fast, Rahi offers a sort of breather where you could just enjoy little moments, little conversations, and remember the people who talk to you rather than just scrolling past everything. So it's about finding beauty in everyday life.
I love that. For me, storytelling is my favorite part of gaming. And I think in a lot of the fast-paced games, people are annoyed by cutscenes. They're annoyed by the storytelling. But cozy games is such a different place where the storytelling is part of the process, and that's not something that you really want to skip. So it really feels like just a natural place where storytelling lives and in the way that I enjoy most. So what is it about the genre that makes room for the kind of very specific game that you're making?
Just as you answered, Tash, the players who are playing cozy games, they do not want to feel the pressure of doing something right now or beating an opponent right now. We thought the format fit perfectly with Rahi because we wanted to give that chance and the freedom to players to experience the game however they want. Since it's an open world game, players can choose to do the main mission or they can just choose to drive around, and we've got plenty of stuff for them to do. So the format fit perfectly well for our game. Also, we have different mini games so that when they feel that the game is getting too cozy for them, they can change the pace a bit. So, I cozy games are made for people who do not want to feel pressure and just
Yeah,
lay back and enjoy the story.
I totally agree. That is my escape. I mean that it's just as a person who likes games in almost every genre except horror, it's just it, I'm just a fan of storytelling. So I think this is beautiful. And my next question is, um, what did leaning into this more specific genre and time frame, what did that unlock for you that a more general setting just couldn't have allowed for?
Yes, I think that's a great question because a lot of people ask us this, why are you going so specific? The answer to this is very simple because the Goa in 90s was very culturally rich. It had Portuguese influence, Christian influence, at the same time Hindu influence, a lot of different cultures, and people from all walks of life came together, which is so beautiful. Sandy could be picking up someone from the wealthiest neighborhood and also helping a fisherman the same day. So, having people come from all walks of life and the mix of it made us choose this culturally relevant place and make a fictional town of it.
I I think that's really awesome. I as someone who also played a game like Crazy Taxi where it's timed, it is high energy, but it's also it's a good game, but it is a generic type of experience. It's not specific to a story, it's not specific to necessarily a time frame that allows for storytelling. So Rahi seems like a very personal version that allows for me as a player to be immersed. And what is the goal? What would you like me as a player to walk away with?
Uh, so you as a player, like any player, we would want them to feel different things in Rahi and take on their own experience. Because we have an array of correct characters, so we would actually want to see which character resonated with them the most, and how they made them feel. Also, since it is a very non-linear game, we would want to see how players approach Rahi and what they play the most and what they like the most in a town. Imagine Rahi as an actual like world, and the town Majili an actual place, because we've built it like that. We have things a normal person would do, but very specifically in Goa in 90s. So you could go and cook and help the restaurant owner. You could help a fisherman to actually fish in the game, make friends, because that's really important, and also race. Yeah, so we have a lot of mini games of lived in world where we have a school, and all the NPCs, they have their own schedule. So they're actually people. I wouldn't call them NPCs anymore. So it's a very lived in town.
I love that. And I'm also curious how much of Rahi comes from lived experience versus deliberate research.
Yes, so Rahi actually comes from lived in experience, a lot of it, because my co founder Akshat actually lived in Goa. So he taught us to see Goa beyond just beaches and the great nightlife, because Goa is so much more. It is a land of people who are deeply rooted into culture and come from different lifestyles and have different schedules. What that is what we're trying to inculcate in Rahi. We have a lot of different cultures. We have different landmarks like churches, temples, bookstores. So yes, it's a mix of both. I would say we did research a lot how things were in the 90s, how the cars looked, how the scooter is going to look like, how the shops are going to look like, what the people would wear. A lot of inspiration comes from Bollywood movies also. The fashion in the 90s is, so we've taken some inspiration from them.
Uh, I know that Majili is fictional, but it is built from something real. So how did you decide what elements to add from your own imagination rather than what to draw from research and memory?
Yes, so I think for us, we wanted to show Majili, since it's a fictional town inspired by Goa, as an ideal world, an ideal town, a town that you would actually like to live in, because it has both mountains and the sea, lake, um, and a lot of elements that people really like. And we as people have always enjoyed. So we put everything we love in the game. Uh, so there's no bad things in Majili that we don't like. Uh, a lot of inspiration comes from our own life. Like I loved my school, so I put a school in it. Akshat personally loves poe. Poe is a traditional Goan bread, so he put that in that. So it's all from love and heart and things we enjoy.
I love that it gave you an opportunity to uh, bake in the things that you care a lot about, and I think that's beautiful. And I'm also curious that since you are setting this in 1990s Goa, was there something that you felt was really important to get correct?
Uh, in terms of like the again, some of the events are not there, but we have created a lot of a fictional history to the town, but it is inspired from real life. Like the architecture, we have modular houses, Portuguese inspired old houses. So the architecture is quite real and it is inspired by the 90s houses in Goa. At the same time, we do have some Western influences. Like we have a convenience store, which is completely fictional. The story for that is that there was the son of this convenience store owner went out to America and came back and wanted to get little America back. So he made a convenience store which looked like an American store. So that's completely fictional, but at the same time, the houses are they're completely real and are taken from 90s Goa.
Um, One question that I really want to ask, because we have a lot of listeners who are indie developers who also love cozy games, but they are very nervous about telling a culturally specific story. Like they're worried that it's too niche, that it's so specific that no one would ever think about it. What would you tell them to inspire them?
Uh, Honestly, I don't think cultural specificity is ever a problem because take Persona as example. It almost all games are set in Tokyo, and it's so culturally specific to begin with. But since they have a very universal story, an authentic story, people resonate with it. I would also argue like a lot of people like American high school shows globally and K dramas, and they are all also very culturally specific. But there is a lot of global voice, and the story is authentic. So when you make a game, uh, you have to understand. You have to first see your audience and see what they resonate with. Because if your story is original and feels authentic enough, the cultural specificity would not be a problem.
That's very well said. And I think that Rahi sounds like such a special and intentional project, and I can't wait to for more people to enjoy playing it because I think it's pretty awesome. Wrapping up, where can our listeners find you, follow your studio, and wish list Rahi?
We're on Steam. You can type Raahi, Raahi, and also our Instagram. Uh, and we have a Discord community. We just made a Discord. So if anybody wants to ever reach out to me, they can reach out to me on LinkedIn, email me, and I would love to have a conversation with anyone who's into games or otherwise.
And I'll make sure to put all the information in the show notes for anyone who's interested in that. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Cheat Codes. Thank you so much, Manat, for being a guest on Cheat Codes. I pray that it was not a painful experience at being at your first podcast, but you got to talk about something that is truly amazing and also groundbreaking. And since cozy games are so close to my heart, it is such an honor that I get to share this studio time with you.
Well, thank you so much, Tash. You have no idea how much this means to me. This is my first podcast, and it was so great. I felt like I was just having a normal conversation with you. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. And to stay connected with Women in Games International, you can visit us at getwiggy.com and you can subscribe to our newsletter. And you can find us on all socials at getwiggy. Take care, everyone, and we'll chat soon. Bye.